Hello. Share your screen. Click the button to share your browser tab. Time this off screen. Right. Apparently I'm live. Yeah, this video is about protracted withdrawal. Anybody who knows what protracted withdrawal is, you'll know that it's when you are withdrawing, in my case, coming off antidepressants too quick. The doctor took me off antidepressants I've been on for 11 years, paroxetine. It took me off them way too quick. It was about 2 to 3 months, which for some medication is fine. All you need to do is get the medication out of your system. And that is an element of coming off antidepressants for most people. It can be 6 weeks, 2 months of withdrawal for most people. Like I say, protracted withdrawal, if you look it up, you'll see that what happens is, in my case, and I found out in probably all the other cases of protracted withdrawal, you clear the initial withdrawal, the 6 weeks time, the shaking, the insomnia, the loss of appetite, all the usual things you get with withdrawing off of a drug that affects your brain. You know, very similar to like coming off of cocaine or heroin. You clear that, and then you are clear for 3 months. It was 3 months. Nothing happens. You feel like you've gone back to a normal state of living. And then, like I say, when I say 3 months, 3 months prior is the day I ended the medication. Is the day that the withdrawal ended. So 3 months, it's a strange thing that happens. Then on that 3 month time, you wake up one morning and that's it. Your life is never the same. That was 6 years ago. So look, if you're watching this and you're going through protracted withdrawal, don't instantly think I'm saying it never gets better. It does get better, but you have bad days, even 6 years later. I'm trying to work. And any amount of stressful activity, anything, physical, mental, anything like that, it's a trigger. You know, you've heard of triggers. So I was at the library, I was trying to work, and every ounce of anxiety that the work was causing me is like filling a bucket that's very, very shallow. So I try to rush because I know when that bucket fills, I've got to get out there. And every time I go and start a new day, I think to myself, no, just ignore it. Bad idea. So today it started again. Yeah, I was at the library. I managed to get an hour and a half of work in, which is manageable. I know you can do a lot in an hour and a half. But I wanted to work. I wanted to work a whole day. I had to leave. The reality started swimming. I don't mean spinning. When I say swimming, things started to change. My place in the world became scary. People around me were talking about me. Everybody was looking at me, blah, 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 blah. This is all since I came off antidepressants. I never used to have this before it. And like I say, 6 years now. The majority of my life is okay, but the protracted withdrawal does linger. I'm hoping in your case it doesn't. I've heard a lot of successful stories where people return back to normal. But as you'll see on the other channels, there's some big channels out there of people, you know, doctors with PhDs and whatnot who talk about protracted withdrawal, and they call it brain damage, which makes sense because brain damage in a person when they have a car accident or something like that can cause a lengthy depression, anxiety of about 6 years, thereabouts. So it does make sense that it's brain damage. I'm hoping that, I know it's been 6 years, but I'm hoping I get better. But today's a bad day, yeah. I've had to come home. I've had to use some other medication that I'm on to try and calm down this irrational psychosis, whatever it is. So yeah, I'm hooked on another drug, codeine. They were prescribed to me for painkillers years and years ago for a bad back. I don't need them no more, but they're the only things that can snap me out of this moment. I've taken some. I felt momentarily better because my body's adjusted to them because I've been taking them for years. But they do help a little bit, only for a while, only for a minute, and that minute is just a minute of relief is wonderful. But yeah, I'm sitting here. I want to make people aware. I want to make people aware that protracted withdrawal can be avoided if you, what's the word for it when you come off of drugs slowly? If you taper, learn a system to taper. Reduce the pills any way you can. Use your brain and figure out a way of reducing the dosage of the pills over a course of 3 years. I'm not kidding. Take 3 years to get off them. That's what I'm hearing off of the community. And even then, each time you reduce, some pills come in bead forms. So you've got your pill with beads inside. And what they'll do, they'll open the pill, they'll take a bead out. It's literally that slow. So yeah, take a bead out every day. If it takes you 3 years, 4 years, do it that way, but take it slowly. Don't let your nervous system be overwhelmed, because that's when you can develop protracted withdrawal, aka brain damage, as they're calling it. It's not good. It's not good. Yes, I do get suicidal. Yes, I do, but I'm not going to commit suicide. I believe in God. I've got to believe in God because, people might laugh, but when you need something, that's when you'll know what I mean. And therefore, because I believe in God, I know that I need to stick around. I need to see this to the end. My life, I need to see it to the end, to its natural course, no matter how hard things are. So yeah, yesterday was hard. Today's hard. Last week it got a little bit easier because I thought to myself, I've found a system of how to work throughout the day and keep working and blah, blah, blah. And it's not worked this week. The protracted withdrawals kicked in big time. I just want a bit of normality. I know what is normal, but I want a bit of normality. I want some peace. I've got everything to live for. I got married recently. I've got a granddaughter. I've got a son. And I just sit here complaining about protracted withdrawal because it literally, from the outside, people think that I'm just whining, but it's so hard. It's so hard dealing with this. Basically, what I want to do is I want to carry on pushing forward, letting people know. I mean, listen, the doctors are giving these drugs to 7-year-olds. Stop it. It's driving me crazy. These drugs change the brain chemistry. Okay. If a child is still growing, the brain hasn't developed, and you're giving them antidepressants, doctors, stop it. Stop giving them to children. And the kids are growing up. You know what? This is the thing, right? When I started with my protracted withdrawal 6 years ago, and I asked the doctor, I would contact the doctor, I rang the ambulances, I was in psychosis ward, I was in the whole lot, you name it. When I asked the doctor what's going on, because at that stage I didn't know, the doctor simply said, it's a return of your old your old illness before you went on antidepressants? And when I told him, I said, I've never felt this before in my life. He said, oh, yeah, it's a return of your old illness. In other words, he had no idea. He had no idea what was wrong with me. This is what they're saying to children, right? They're saying to children, well, they're saying to the parents, give them this drug. It will make them concentrate at school. It's for ADHD. Give them antidepressants. It will make them better. And then when they're better, we'll take them off them. How stupid can people be? It is well known now that these drugs can cause long-lasting withdrawal that lasts years. It's well known. And still they're doing it. Stupid doctors in the UK. I'm so angry. All they care about is golf. All they care about is themselves. I know they're only human, but there should be rules in place now so that people can be held accountable. Doctors can be held accountable for being negligent and being lazy and being, oh, well, it says it on the paper there. Let's just go ahead and give the drugs to a 7-year-old. You know, I'm 54 now and I'm suffering 6 years after I got protracted withdrawal. 6 years. And, you know, yeah, the physical symptoms have passed. The akathisia, all that has passed. What's left now is the psychosis, I don't know who I am, I don't know where I am, the neurodivergence or whatever they call it, where I don't feel like I've got a place in society. All that is new. It's come on from coming off antidepressants. I just want my life back. I want to be able to wake up and think to myself, today's the day I'm going to do something and I'm going to start working towards this goal. I don't want to be caught up in this psychosis where it starts making me think everybody's is behind me while I'm working in the library. They're all talking about me. The world's coming to an end and blah, blah, blah. I mean, cannabis causes this. Cannabis causes psychosis and paranoia. Any brain-altering drug, keep away from it. It might make you feel good. Cannabis, I've never used the stuff, but it might make you feel good for a moment in the present. But listen to me. If you are one of the 20% like me, you will develop a withdrawal syndrome, or they call it PAWS for some reason, protracted acute withdrawal syndrome. They call it that will last you probably for the rest of your life because you wanted to smoke cannabis. Anything that affects your brain chemistry can cause protracted withdrawal. Stay away from it. Take my word, please. You don't have to listen to me. But what I'm saying is, trust me. It'll end your life, you know. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of feeling this way. I've got such an amazing life. I've got this beautiful wife. I've got a son. I've got a granddaughter. I live in a house with a roof. It's sunny outside. I've got food if I want it. I've got my health, my legs, if you know what I mean. I've got my eyes, I've got my ears, all the things. And yet I feel like this. I just want people. If this is what I want to do, I want people to listen and don't take that poison. Okay, don't take it. Stay away from it. If you're having a bad day and you go to the doctors, they will give you antidepressants, and they'll kick their golf clubs underneath the desk because that's all they're thinking about. Stupid UK doctors. They're negligent because there is no accountability. They do not get held accountable. All you hear is, oh, well, they're overworked. Okay. What about my life that they've destroyed? I can't heal myself. Maybe I can in the future. I don't know. But you can't get out of this trap. You've seen Brazil from the 1980s, the film Brazil. where a man's trapped in psychosis. That's what I feel like I'm living in. And I just want some peace. But anyway, going back to tapering. Taper off the drug over years. Make a plan, 3 years. Taper off them. If you're on them now. Nobody's listening to me, because when I tell people who are on antidepressants, it's like they can't hear me. It's like I'm on mute. I'll say, listen, I was on antidepressants. I came off them. I developed this protracted withdrawal. I'm still suffering 6 years later. Oh, yeah, and I'm being put on sertraline, and, it makes me feel good. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? It's going to destroy. Get off them now. And, yeah, I like sertraline, me. Well, I might have to try. They don't listen. People don't listen because they need to experience something. Don't experience this. Stay away from it. My worst enemy out there. Please do not take these drugs. Because I know somebody in Saltburn nearby here who stopped them over about a month. Stopped the drug, and she developed withdrawal, the normal withdrawal. And I said to her, stupid. I said, what happened? I didn't say stupid. I said, what happened? Did you wake up 3 months later, all this? And she said, no. So there are people who can get away with it, but can you find out if you're one of them before you take the drug? No, you can't. So my advice is just stay away from the poison. Stay away from it. Stay away from benzodiazepine. Stay away from paroxetine has been outlawed in America. Stay away from that. Stay away from venlafaxine. Stay away from sertraline. Stay away from... Now, listen, Wellbutrin. I keep hearing that does not have protracted withdrawal. That may be, if you have to take something, do your research. Don't listen to the doctor. Please don't listen to the doctor. They know as much as you do. They're a general practitioner. They're not a specialist. So when you go in there thinking you can trust them, you can't, unfortunately, especially if they're rotten, lazy, negligent pigs. Like a lot of them are. I'm not holding back. They are. They don't want you in the room. They're thinking about what they're going to have for dinner, blah, 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 blah. The one who let Cassie die, the one who kept on sending her away when 2 or 3 days later she died of a pulmonary embolism, he told her, stop coming. I'm dealing with people with cancer here, while he was having a chat with the girl behind the reception, apparently, a young girl. And unbelievable doctors. Yes, they're only human, but they need to be held accountable so that they do their job right and that they don't give this poison to children. Yeah, that's right. I heard that 7-year-old children are being prescribed antidepressants. That's wrong. That's wrong. And the fact, you know what the FDA base it on? The FDA base how antidepressants are dangerous by 1 year of research. In other words, when they create an antidepressant, they give it 1 year of research. That's the guinea pig era time. Right? It took me 7 years of taking paroxetine for the medication to stop working, which is well known. Any medication stops working, painkillers, whatnot, they all stop working. So that's no secret. Then when it stopped working, whilst I was taking the full dose of paroxetine, I started developing these experiences I've never experienced in my life. This is whilst I was taking them, of depression, of anxiety. And that's what led me to a doctor who said, let's get you off them, which sounded good. Trust your doctor. And he took me off them in 3 months, which he said, when I told him what was happening to me, he said to me, 3 months is more than enough time. And it is with some medication, but it isn't with protracted withdrawal. It isn't with antidepressants, because that's another thing, your brain fog. When you're having a bad day, you can't remember the name of anybody. You can't. I can't remember what I'm talking about. It's like my memory goes so far back. So if I need to remember something, I need to do all the memory tricks that you do. It's terrible. It's horrible. It's horrible existence. 6 years, 2021. How about this? But there's a lot of things, listen, it's done with me. I've got this, but there's a lot of things I can contribute with. I can go out there and tell people not to take antidepressants. Will they listen? I don't know. But I'm building a website. I'm not trying to get people to join my website. I'm not even going to say the name of it, but I'm building a website that's talking about the intimate details of protracted withdrawal, of how it destroys your sense of well-being, how it destroys everything, how it creates this psychosis, how it, and I'm thinking of a way, I'm using AI to find a way to build a community of people that can fight the system of giving drugs like this to children. I cannot believe it's like I want somebody to pinch me and say, no, that's a dream, that wasn't real. What I mean is giving these drugs to children. When kids get unhappy, they get bullied, they go through hell. I know they do. But you don't go on these drugs. These drugs don't fix anything, they make it worse. Kids just need to get out of the situation they're in, need some attention, need some love and whatever, I don't know, but they don't need antidepressants. So please don't take them if you're thinking about taking them. I know there's people out there that are going to take them and they're not even listening to me. But you will. If you're one of the 20%, you'll remember this video. But if it is happening to you, if you're going through it now, talk to me, because I can offer help. There is things I do that do help. Where's the talking here? Oh, right. Here we go. I had withdrawal from cocaine and I was, yeah. Is that you, Amzi? Amzi, are you still on there? So you had withdrawal as well. Self-medicate of my ADHD, but I shouldn't have to medicate because there should be more help available than 4 years waiting list. Yeah. If you've got ADHD, try and do some of the therapy that's out there. There's a lot of stuff online, because I've got ADHD brought on by this. My attention span is like that now. I start something, can't finish it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? She's just been put on antidepressants. My sister's oh, come on, please. My sister's just turned 16. She's just been put on antidepressants. It's a generic in my family. How long has she been on them? Is that you, Z, on there? How long has she been on antidepressants? If it's just a few months, try and get her off them, please. Because if she develops this, 20% of the population of antidepressant takers get it. That's the stats. You'll lose your sister. I'm just being frank about this. You'll lose the sister you know. Okay? No, they won't work. Amzi, you'll reach a point maybe 2 months in after starting to take them where you'll feel better. This is how they based the drug on. I felt better. You'll feel better and you'll think, oh, that's great. It doesn't last, unfortunately. And you don't feel amazing, but you do feel better. And it lasts about a year to 4 years where you'll feel better and you'll forget this video. You'll forget the worries of life and you're not blissful or anything. You just can cope better. But then the drug, your body is always actively looking for harmony, you see. You put a drug in your body, any drug, your body tries to find the balance again by shifting everything to compensate for the drug. In other words, your body will reach a point where the drug stops working, but you're on a drug then. What do? Come off it? Try it. If you come off it, you'll develop the worst time of your life. I'm telling you. And I'm not talking about what I've got. I'm saying you may develop even the short-term protracted withdrawal that can last months. You don't want that. So wean off of them, taper off of them, okay? Meditate. We heard of transcendental meditation. You don't have to do the om and all that sort of thing. Just repeat words in your head, in your mind. Close your eyes. Do that for 30 minutes a day. It sort of breaks the psychosis. It breaks it, the ADHD or something. It breaks it, but doesn't always work. But it's all we've got. Do that. Also, do the breathing techniques. Do the Wim Hof. If you can stomach the Wim Hof one, it's heavy duty, the heavy breathing. So if you can't do that one, do the opposite, which is holding the breath for a moment, and taking a deep breath, and then relaxing, and then do that sort of thing. Then follow it by the meditation. See, I've got the psychosis coming on now. While I'm talking to you, it's like this wave of mysterious fear coming around me, like I'm kind of like in another dimension or something, where everything's the same, but I'm going somewhere. And they say to ground yourself. I try it, doing the eye thing, the eye movement and everything. Nothing works. I just have to lock myself away. I have to stop doing everything I'm doing. And I have to escape. You can't live a life like that. To be honest, I've been doing better on them. Yeah, you will. And I used to, but my depression is generic, so therapy or whatever won't work. Also, it's Amy Liam's partner. Oh, is it Amy? Right, okay. So you're on antidepressants as well. Oh, you said that, didn't you? I remember now. Amy, how long have you been on them? This is a bad day. You're seeing a bad day, you see. It's bloody awful. But this isn't the worst. I can cope with this. I can, I can do things. The worst is when the akathisia kicks in, which it hasn't in a long time. It's akathisia, the best way I can describe it is you can't sit down, you can't stand up. So what do you do? So you end up just spinning around in circles, walking around all over the place, crying and begging for relief. And then, but luckily that's gone, I think. But I get the feeling of it though. 6 years later, it's in my legs. My legs start shaking like internally. So that restless leg syndrome thing they talk about. It's that. So you've been on them for a month or two. Maybe it's not too late. You can deal with whatever you're going through without these drugs. You can deal with whatever you're going through in some other way. Because if you're saying to me, no, I can't, what's going to come after these drugs is 10, 20 times worse than what you ever experienced in your life. I'm not kidding. It's awful. You can, Amy. You can, I promise you. Maybe try another drug, but not antidepressants. That's what the doctor told you, didn't he? Have you seen the thing about the chemical? They've already found that out. It's not chemicals. It's not an imbalance. It's trauma. It's genetics. It's childhood trauma, genetics, just the way we're built. PTSD. It's all mental. And antidepressants will give you a short respite from it. That's all. And you'll never get that back again. They'll never work again like they do in this short time. So if you think your life is about the next year or two of relief, you go ahead, but it's not, obviously, because when you surface again, and if you develop this, you're never going to be the same again. You'll be a shadow of your old self. It's because I watched my mum go through this. Yeah, I know. What do we do though, Amy? What do we do? This is what happens if you take this drug. I'm the proof. I'm the proof. And I'm not the only one on the planet. Look it up. Do your own research. Look at that guy. What's his name? Let me see if I can find his. I'm probably going to destroy the thing, aren't I? If I click it. There's a doctor online, Dr. Dark Skin, and I forget his name now. He's an expert on protracted withdrawal. He's amazing. And he talks about coming off them, blah, 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 and about the 20% of people that get this. And it's not just 20%, by the way. If you're not 20%, you could be in between where you get protracted withdrawal, but it doesn't last 6 years. But if you, I'm telling you from me, right, from my experience, even after the 6 years, that it's supposed to be the longest time it takes, it's still here. I've still got it, and it's all because of paroxetine. It alters your brain, Amy. It alters your brain chemistry. Like you said, your family have gone through hell, and you don't want to go through the same thing. This medication is not the answer. It is for a year. That's all. They haven't ironed out the bugs. Maybe, I've been thinking about trying ketamine, because they do an infusion which can last about 3 months of one session. It can do. If things get worse, I'm going to look into it. The only problem with that is you've got to pay for it yourself. It's not on the NHS, because big pharma want the government to spend big money on antidepressants, because the law says all they need to do is get 1 year of recorded guinea pigs using a drug. 1 year. And like thalidomide and that lot, all them drugs long term caused dangerous effects. And antidepressants are one of them. Venlafaxine came along. It replaced paroxetine. They put me on venlafaxine, and they were saying to me when they put me on it, it's a great drug. It makes you feel amazing. Blah, 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 blah. I've never felt a day of that, by the way. Never felt a day of relief on venlafaxine. I'm on the highest dose. And I've never felt any relief with them. But the thing is, I'm hearing of the people that I knew who were put on it, the people I would talk to in person. I'm hearing that they're going through shit now, and that they're believing what the doctor's saying, that it's a return of their old symptoms. And then you hear the person saying, the expert of their own body, saying, no, I never had this before. And the doctor say, yeah, it's a return of your old. They don't listen because they don't know. They just want to look like they're the doctors want to look like they know what they're talking about, because they want to get paid, don't they? They want to keep their job. But general practitioners are not the answer to this. They don't know how to. They're not specialists. I tell you, I found a specialist once. He was in the pharmacy, and he said, I've learned so much about antidepressants. And he was saying exactly what I was saying. He was saying, keep away from them. They don't work. They work short term, and that's it. And in some cases, they don't even work short term for some people, which is the case with me with venlafaxine. So they upped the dose, saying, I just need more and more and more, and now I'm stuck on these. But we'll have to. So what's your plan? So are you going to? Okay, I'm leaving. Yeah. So what you? Oh, you're not there anymore. I think somebody's there. Whoever's there, are you on antidepressants as well? Whoever's there. Well, I've said all I'm going to say. Now I've got to go back to life again. I've got to try and figure out what to do with the day. Every day is like a mountain. It's like, what do I do? I'm just going to wait it out. I'm not going to do anything silly. Like I said, I've got too much to live for. I've got a good life. It just doesn't feel it. It just doesn't feel it. I'm going to keep going now. I've got things I'm trying out now. I'm trying transcendental meditation. I'm trying the breathing techniques. I don't like sleeping through the day. It feels wrong. If I'm tired, I will, obviously, but I don't like taking a nap just to break the day up. And yet I don't do anything else. I've got so many things I want to do, but I start them and then the psychosis kicks in and it starts making me feel like I'm on a different bloody planet. So basically, yeah, I'm gonna end the video. But thank you for watching. Anybody who watches this. But protracted withdrawal, please leave some comments and I'll answer them all. Okay, because you do need community with this. You do need to be able to, I need community, I should say. I want to talk to people about it, you know, and if it's your children on them, please work towards getting them off them. You've got a hell of a ride though in front of you. So take your time with them. Take your time with the antidepressants. Take about 2 to 3 years coming off them slowly. Okay, reduce them bit by bit. If it's right, this is what I do. I got the pill. I got the pills, right? The solid pills. So how do you reduce them? You can do it. Break them in half. Then break the halves into quarters, right? And each time you go down a section, it's too much of a jump. So try and cut a bit off. So take a picture of them and then compare over time. Reduce them, but be very careful. If you can, try and get your doctor to give you the pellets, because you can open them and you can take the pellets out and count them. You know, you can be careful because they're weighed perfectly. So you're not going to get some that's more than others. You take the pellets out. I've heard that there's a liquid form of antidepressants. I've heard that. Which case you can measure that, can't you? With a pipette, you can measure that, split it up, make a system, use AI, make a system over 2 to 3 years. Okay, take as long as it takes. And each time you reduce, you'll feel the withdrawal kicking in. But because you're still taking them, it'll calm down quicker. And then you'll balance, then move forward again, move forward. Do not let your system get overwhelmed. If you let your system get overwhelmed, you risk doing a tear in your psyche, your brain, your mind. You risk that. Damage, brain damage, you risk it. And if that happens, if the brain damage happens, talk to me, okay? Or talk to one of the other people online and quickly. You may be able to take your drug again and hide, you know, sometimes it works. Take a step back, in other words, you know, say you're on the you're reducing it and you're down to stage 3. Go back to stage 4, go back. Okay, go back, and it might work. That it didn't for me, but it does for some people. And then wait until you balance out again. You'll feel the markers. You'll feel yourself. You'll feel like you're coming back to normal again. Like I say though, if the drugs stop working, normal meaning you're not shaking, you're not in pain, you're not loss of appetite, you're not losing sleep, but yeah, you'll still feel depressed and anxious. So reduce them again, start again, but slowly. Take it slower. Think of it as like a cup of water, and you're reducing it each day, like that. Think of it like that, to the point where you've got nothing left. This is the thing that I want to end with, right? When you get to the end of, you're at the smallest piece of the drug, and you're taking it for another month or 2 of this small piece, and then in your mind you'll think, I can stop taking it now. Careful. The last piece is the hardest. It's like jumping down steps, but the last step is a fall. The last step is a fall. It is. I don't know how you avoid that. I couldn't. But what I would suggest doing is cutting that last piece up to a finer, smaller piece. The last piece of your pill, reduce it into sections. I know it's hard, but don't just stop taking it, because when you look it up online, type it in, even in Google, it's there because I've seen it. What is stopping the last tapering amount of antidepressants like? It'll tell you. It's the hardest part of the journey, the hardest part of tapering. It's a killer. It's hard. So I think on the last piece, you've got to even taper further. So say you're tapering month. Now you're down to the last month. Spread that month out over 6 months. I think 6 months is enough. And then test yourself. See if the brain zaps have passed. That thing, you know. If you're on antidepressants, you know what I mean. See if the psychosis has calmed down. Well, that doesn't calm down if you get protracted withdrawal. See if the other things have calmed down. The obvious markers, the fight or flight, the pain, the worry, all that. See if that's calmed down, and then come off the very last piece. And then for about a week, watch where you go. If you start going into hell, take that last piece again. Okay? I know it's a minute piece, but take it, go back again, do another week or two, then try again. Then maybe break the day up so you're having 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off. Do it that way. And then reduce it even further if you can. And then keep going like that. And you will get off them, I promise you. We can do amazing things if we have the right information. Doctors won't give you it. You know, when my doctor gave me paroxetine in 2011, do you know he never said a word to me? I did all the talking, and he had that face on him. You know that face where you're talking to somebody who thinks they're better than you? He had that face on him. And I was asking for help because it was the reason I took paroxetine was because I was having stress at work. And he starts writing this thing. He's like, "Sweet face," and he gives me this thing, and it had propranolol, which is a beta blocker. That has no ill effects. It's okay. You can take that. Well, none that I know of. They are actually useful. And then paroxetine. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what they were. He never warned me. He never told me anything. He just gave me them. He never said a word. I find that hard to believe now, but I remember he didn't speak. He just carried on smiling, you know, that smile thing. And then I left there, and then that was it. The rest is history. Anyway, right. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.